just tell you this for free on the show today. I will start with getting your opinion on the most trending topic at the moment, which is the labor electricity tariff situation. That protest was supposed to hold this morning. As at yesterday night, they were confident, yesterday evening, I'd say, that the protest would hold. I mean, we were already expecting that this was going to happen. Unfortunately, unfortunately for some, this morning, this is what we heard. The statement that came following a meeting that was held. I'm going to see if it's not really clear enough. I'll see what I can get out of it. MOU between the federal government and Labour over the proposed 50% hike in telecommunication tariff. This meeting was held yesterday. And arising from that meeting, I'm reading the document that was sent to me by Labour, convened by the federal government on the proposed 50% hike in telecommunication tariff in the country, which the NLC expressed strong opposition to, citing its potential negative impact on the Nigerian workers and the economy, with a threat to proceed on a one-day nationwide mass protest. The following resolutions were reached. And it says here that there is a need for the parties to sit together in a technical group to resolve most of the thorny areas raised during the discussion. Number two, consequently, a 10-man joint committee was set up of 5 representatives each of the federal government and Labour. And number 3, the committee shall conclude and submit its deliberations within 2 weeks from the 3rd day of February 2025. The parties call on Nigerian people to remain calm while this committee concludes its assignment. So, and of course, you had everyone signing this. Secretary to the government of the Federation was present. The president of the NLC was also there. Minister of Labour and Employment was also there. And we also had the General Secretary of the NLC, all signatories to this particular document. Now, looking at this document, if you ask me, I don't feel very confident because it doesn't really address what it should. We already know what the problem is the hike. So what are we going to do about the hike? The hike has already been talked about, and if not effected already. So what exactly is this resolution? What you can take out of it mainly would be that a 10-man committee would be put up to do what? What do they want to deliberate on? Because we already know what the problem is. There's a 50% hike, and we don't want that. The suggestion has been 10% from everyone involved. Let us keep it at 10. All right. The telecoms had said 100% increase before arriving at 50. The minister for was it information, if I'm not mistaken, communication, I can't remember, information or thereabout, was present and said that it wasn't going to approve 100%, but clearly looked in the way of a 50%. So would this document really hold anything, especially with the antecedents of government in situations like this? For all many of us would say could be that this committee would run for another, how many months, meetings back and forth, and it's going to just throw up a new drama that we are used to. And people are just going to find themselves in that position over and over again. So what happens? What happens? Well, this morning on the show, I would speak with the national president, Association of Telecommunication Subscribers. He would join us on the show. But first, I would need to get your thoughts about this, because the question is very simple. Do you think that Labour was right for suspending the protest just because of this meeting that was held? Will the committee yield any positive result? Are we going to even get any change? Don't forget that there are talks of tariff increase for electricity as well. Put that at the back of your mind. There are talks for electricity tariff as well. They're going to increase that one. We had the I think it was this morning. Yesterday, the reports that came in was suggesting that it was 65%. But then just today on the news, we heard from special advisor to the president saying that no, she did not put a number to it, but that there's definitely going to be an increase, because an increase is needed in that sector. Talking about how, the subsidy is for the rich. I don't get it. So the subsidy is for the rich, so you remove the subsidy so the poor will suffer. Is that the point? Well, there's all of this going on. It almost looks as though the hike thing and tariff thing would That's what it's going to be. That would be the new reality of a lot of Nigerians. With the statement, what hopes do we have? Do you think Labour was right? Is Labour thinking in the right direction to say, well, since we've had this meeting, and what do you make of this document? I just gave you a breakdown of the whole thing. 3 things here. There is need for the parties to sit together in a technical group to resolve most of the thorny areas raised during the discussion. Which thorny areas? How come they did not have this meeting? Secondly, telecoms are not government, right? They are business people. And if they have sat down to say, this is what we're doing as every other business person, what's the role in government? Is government going to tell them that no, you cannot, when the policies on ground put there by government isn't helping their businesses and they need to make money? How does all of this come together? Well, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0002. Let's get your name, where you're calling from, and then just quickly tell us, do you think this committee would yield any positive results? Is Labour on the right path, or were they too hasty in suspending that protest? Should they have just gone ahead with the protest regardless of this committee or meeting that they held with government? Good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Yes.
Yes, my name is J. calling you from Romeo. Andrew, like the question they usually ask, the cat and the horse, which one to come first? This discussion, let me even ask, the price, is it being implemented?
Yeah, the much that we know, if we'll go by the statement that was released by the telecoms at the time, it should have been, unless there's a change.
So the discussion and the price implementation, which one is supposed to come first? So what do? We suspend the hike in price while negotiations are on, or the hike in price continue, then I don't know. Like Tupac says, I see nothing, bro. But I think it's a very good decision not to have embarked on the protest, because that is your last resort when everything fails. If you put it first and government does not budge, my brother, if you like protest again from now to Jericho or from now to heaven, nothing will come out. So good one, good decision, but I think we are trying to put the cart before the horse instead of the horse before the cart. And at the end of the day, I doubt if there will be I think there will be change. It will be a slight change. Maybe Labour being on their knee. Oh, this one costing us. Please just give us 2% or 3%. And at the end of the day, they will still come after that agreement. They will like it like the petrol price. Remember what happened? We started from 590. Today we are 1,000 something, and nothing come out again.
All right, JJ.
I fear.
All right, so there's an update to the implementation. It was supposed to have been implemented, because if you had followed the last, what the statement that came from the telecoms said in January 20, that implementation was supposed to come, and that should have been fully implemented by February, which we're in. But now the reports that they are saying is that they would commence full introduction of the new tariff in March. So I don't know what it means, whether they've started half implementation already, and then we expect full implementation by March. But that is what it is. The earlier statement had said from January 20 thereabout, and then by February there would be full implementation of it. And now it's saying March. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully, when we speak with my guests, we'll also find out more details about this. In the meantime, the position of Labour and how Labour has gone about it has got a lot of people talking. And the government stepping in now with this committee and having this conversation has also raised a lot of question. Is it really going to solve it when the actual problem is the price of diesel and many other things that contributes to the running costs of this business? Good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, let's move on to another caller now. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Good morning, Efie Andrew.
Yep, good morning.
My name is Chief Comrade I.M. Braid.
All right, go on.
Yeah, Efie, you were asking whether the new tariff has really taken place.
Yeah, I think I put out the information now.
Yes, they've even gone beyond the tariff. Because if you look at the telecom industry right now, if
service
you load data,
yes,
if you load data, you see that before a twinkle of an eye, your data has run out. And also, the subscribers, so most of the telecoms, you don't even have the network. 2 weeks, 1 week, you don't even have service. But the moment you have service and you try to make a call, you will see that either the other side is not getting what you're saying. But at the end of the day, your tariff is just going like that. So I don't know how the government look at the whole thing before agree for them to increase tariff. Because all these issues need to be nipped on the board. People will make calls. The call does not go. You will see that it's been put on hold. But your credit is going. I think in a clime where this telecom industry come from, they don't operate in this manner. Why in this country, our government, our leaders will allow it to go this way? In the selling client where they come from, annually, they give bonus to subscribers. But here in Nigeria, you will make a call, if you got into voicemail, but yet they will take your money at the end of the day.
All right.
I think the government and the senators really need to do more before going into agreement that they should increase tariffs, because rather they should be able to bring down the tariff.
All right. Thank you very much. It's the much we can take. We have a commercial coming. Let's take one more call first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yes. The one thing is that...
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay, Okonkwa from Rubokuta.
Okay.
The network companies are not doing us good in this country. Are you aware that it is difficult for somebody to transact business this time or to talk to somebody because of an important issue? You call, they will tell you that the number you are calling, that you call, does not exist. You call it again, it will begin to ring. You call another number, they will tell you that the number is switched off. It's just like that. Was it not good that the government should have sat down with the stakeholders of these network companies?
Okonkwo, unfortunately, we'll take a short commercial. When we return, you say more. Conversation continues. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Now, you can be a part of the discussion simply by getting on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the handle. Like the page and drop your comments. Please endeavor to make sure your comments are short. I told us earlier on that we would be speaking with the National President, Association of Telecommunication Subscribers, Mr. Deolu Ogubanjo. We're trying to establish contact with him. He had earlier said he would. There are several meetings to attend this morning. So as soon as we're able to get him on, we would hear their perspective. Remember, the last time we spoke with him, he had said that they were taking the issue to court, and they've done that. What's happening next? Have there been any new developments? Hopefully, we find out from him, and most importantly, find out what is happening with the network situation in the past couple of weeks. It's been terrible. I'm sure you've experienced it as well. If they had conversations with these companies to know exactly what the problem is, we'll find out hopefully before we conclude the discussion this morning. I'll take some of your messages on Facebook here. We have several of them already. Labour has suspended its protest. This was after it went into a meeting with the government yesterday. And after that meeting, they had resolved that they need to discuss some issues around this tariff hike. So a committee deliberates and brings its report. How long will that deliberations? I mean, it's very clear what the problem is. Do we have to wait this long to have this happen? How is the government intending to get telecommunication companies, private business owners? Let me put that in proper perspective. Private business owners. How are you planning to get them to not run their business the best way they think suits the situation that the government has created at the moment? Tammy Frank Tambari says, no good Nigerian will take the Labour serious. They are there to protect this bad government. Labour, we know, I laugh in Chinese. Soon Nigerians will be paying for hunger and endurance. That's Daniel Okuku. Blessed Ola says, good morning, watching from Roma Precon. NLC doesn't exist again in this country because there's no truthful person among them. And that's why Nigerian citizens are no longer... Okay, that's why Nigerian citizens no longer believe in them. Ijana Anderson says, trust Labour Union and get, what? Myocardial infarction. Oh, that's... Isn't that bit too far? Nigerians are not supposed to trust Labour at all. This one says NLC, which way again? Desmond Ibuka says this Labour must continue to labor in vain. They are part of the problem of Nigeria. Emeka Joseph says Labour doesn't exist to me, so that's left. They're left there just politicians that always want their share of the national cake. Imma Olebara says from Owerri, NLC, why? Be serious for once. You are losing people's confidence. Now, I like how you put that, which is my worry. I've said in the morning when I heard the news early this morning, and then I got the Labour leaders that sent me that statement, and I read the MOU. The first thing I said was, you don't understand what this does to the reputation that you have and how people perceive you. Understandably, you're not going on a strike. It's not a strike, is it? No, it's a protest. It's not like you're shutting down anything. It's a protest. Now, is it against labor laws to embark on a protest because you had a conversation with government? Remember, the protest is not aimed at government, but the telecommunication companies. So is it out of place for Labour to have gone ahead with the protest? At least it was just a day protest. Philip Young, NLC is just a bulldog without tooth. A new suspension of protest will be their decision. The suspension never yields any positive results. Is watching from Transamadi. This person, Pelema Fibika, says, sometimes we suspend to see how to succeed. Well, that's where I brought in the angle of antecedents. Every other time, Labour has gone into a committee agreement meeting with government, how has it played out? The most, if you think you can't remember how government operates with these committees and meetings, ask ASU. ASU will tell you. We all are aware of the situation with ASU. And eventually, the union that is fighting to get what is rightfully theirs now end up looking like the ones that are the bad people. That's how it usually turns out. And Nigerians have seen this play out not once, not twice, not three times. And that's why every time Nigerians hear that, there was a meeting, a committee, it's almost as though, you have fell for it again. That's the vibe you get out of people who look at this situation from outside in. Well, let's find out your thoughts. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0003. Again, 0817-923-0007 and 0817-923-0003. It was labor rights to have said, let's hold on with the protest. Would this committee come up with anything useful? Now, after the meeting was held between the telecommunication subscribers and every other stakeholder in the telecommunication industry, the implementation of that 50% was supposed to come in late January and then fully implemented by February. As it stands now, the new report is that it would begin fully in March. So does that mean that they haven't implemented? Because it still looks as though data and airtime is just, fleeting away. Not to add the situation with the network. It's really bad. You can't use your apps. You can't even make calls comfortably. There's just a lot that's wrong. And it's not just one service provider. It's almost a problem with all of them. So where are we headed? Magnus is in Mile 3. Let's start there. Good morning, Magnus.
Good morning to you, Andrew.
Yep, go on, please.
Yes, I think the situation we are talking about in this country is very pathetic. It could be likened to a landlord increasing his house rent from 250 or 300,000 to 500,000 without changing a piece of zinc. Have they considered the kind of network they are providing or services they are providing for Nigerians? That you load a recharge card of 1,000, you cannot make 5 minutes call. That you subscribe maybe a 2,000 naira, megabyte or gig, and you cannot subscribe, you cannot browse for 20, 30 minutes. I think in as much as I agree that telecom is business they are doing, they should be able to improve their service they are providing to the people for them to take their money back. It's not that you give them exorbitant bills and you cannot even provide quality service to the people. If you talk about the what can they now provide for people? What we are talking about in this country is spread from all fares of everything we could do. We cannot continue. Look at what PhD they are doing. They are forcefully bankrolling people to band A just to take money. It is not done like this. In my own compound where I live, we are paying over 100,000 naira just because they want to bankroll or to bank A. So it's not everything that we should export people. It's not like that. Provide your quality service and let's pay for it. We cannot continue to pay for what we don't have.
All right, Magnus, thank you very much. Chima from Dube, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Andrew, I think I never had hope on labor, and that's why I continue to tell Nigerians that there is no need to put our hope on labor to speak for us. I believe that we Nigerians can come together and protest and tell the government that, look, this communication hike is not going down where we thought. So that's why I never had hope on labor. Because I'm not seeing the reason why labor will even call up this protest. Because it's just protest. It's not shutting down any office or whatever. It's just protest to register displeasure over the hike, 50% hike. Now, we are not talking about the several activities of this telecommunication. Sometimes they put a text message on your phone urging you to subscribe for something that you never bargained for. At the end of the day, you see your money being deducted that you have subscribed, but you never subscribed. So we are seeing all these things, and nobody's saying anything. So I think our government is not doing us well. I tell you, what is happening in this country, if it happens in another country, I tell you, everywhere will be shut down. But Nigeria here, we are the kind of people who accept whatever the government throws at us. That is why everywhere is calm. Because I don't see any reason why you increase telecom hike to 50%. Meanwhile, the service you are providing, we are not getting it optimally, and you are increasing increasing to 50%. It's not making sense at all. So I think Nigerians, our hope should not be on labor. we have the right to come out and protest and tell the government this 50% hike is not going down well with us. That's
All right,
it.
Chima. Thank you very much. Let's go to Ojum. He's in Obagi. Ojum, good morning. We lost the call from Ojum. Over to Bori now, where Letambari is waiting. Hello, Letambari. Good morning to you.
Good morning, it's me, Andrew.
All right, go ahead, please, Letambari.
How are you doing?
Fine, go on.
Yeah. This labor suspending their strike or protest, and because of the committee set up, I want to find out first why the committee is set up and they are doing their job. Does it mean the hike will still persist or the hike is suspended? That's number one. Two, I have said on this platform, on this radio station, that for Labour has not implemented anything since its action commenced. Right from the day Adam Soshomole stepped down from the activities of Labour, nothing concerning Labour in this country has worked. And I've called the workers where these people got their money from. The workers should rise up and stop the activities of Labour because they have not contributed anything in favor of the worker. Any amount implemented in the worker salary are made by the politicians, which is the government in place. Labour has not contributed anything. The only time they wanted to contribute, when they started with their 1 million naira, whatever, I complained about it. You can attest to that. But at the end of the day, they could not achieve 10% of what they asked for. And it is a shame that we continue to have this. Now, for this committee to start working, what is the assurance that within this period, this hike will be reduced, will go back to its status? Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Letambari. But I think to clarify a few things, Labour has done a lot, all right? I think it's unfair. Yeah, it's your opinion. Maybe it's how you see it, but you don't want to admit to it. Labour has. Minimum wage was not at any time 33,000. Let's start from there. I think it was around 7,000 something or 8,000 something, and then it went to, was it 19,000? I can't remember what the old minimum wage is anymore, before we went on to 30. And Labour had input in all of those times. Very well. I remember very well. So it's unfair to say that, Labour did not. That's not true. You might not be happy with their procedure or sometimes how they go about what they do. You might have questions and criticize their modus operandi. It's very understandable, but it's not fair to say that they've done nothing. Quickly, let's go on to my guest. We have him on the line. It's been very hectic trying to get him, like we're just talking about. The network has not been very favorable, but now we have him on the line. So quickly, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the National President Association of Telecommunication Subscribers, Mr. Deolu Ogubanjo. Sir, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Sorry about the network issues. Thanks for having me.
And that's where we'd like to start from. I understand that you've been really engaged and we don't have a lot of time left, so let's quickly make use of what's available. First, the service has been really bad in the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you've been experiencing the same thing, but that's the situation here. What's happening? Have you had any conversations with the service providers? What exactly is the problem now?
Well, they are saying that part of what is leading to the bad quality of service is because they need funds to invest in the equipment to ensure good service delivery. However, we do understand that they need funds, yes, but not 50% tariff hike. We have said a 10% is fine, with other options like going to the stock market to raise funds, do initial public offerings, ensure that the banks pay them what they're owing, their USSD charges, which they normally, remove from us as you are buying. So the money is with the bank. So why are they not paying the network service providers? So meanwhile, they're Telecoms fee. Telecoms fee will owe Telecoms. Let them also pay themselves. So by the time you aggregate all of these, plus 10% increase, a 50% increase will not, come about at all.
All right. There are some that would feel like the possibility of the telecom companies taking advantage of the situation and telling us that the reason why service is bad at the moment is because they need money. That's why they need to increase tariff. Some people could even be of the opinion that, well, this could be deliberate just to prove a point as to, certify why they need that tariff increase. But beyond that, the last time we spoke, you talked about instituting the matter in court. From the last time we spoke to now, has there been any development? Has there been any meetings, conversations? What exactly can you tell us that is new?
Thank you very much. The only thing that is new is that they have postponed the implementation of the new tariff hike to March instead of February. That is one. Two, we are following the process, and we are definitely, getting to court this week. Before the week runs out, we're definitely going to be in court to tell them that they should not go more than 10%. We're not saying they shouldn't increase tariff, but we're saying the 10% will just be fine. That's what we're saying, sir.
So are you aware of the move by government and the committee set up between government and Labour? Labour was supposed to embark on a peaceful protest today to register their displeasure with the hike. Are you aware of the committee that's been set up and what the government is trying to do with Labour with regards to stalling this protest and having a negotiation?
Yes, this was last night.
Yes.
When the secretary to the government now intervene because Labour is supposed to, go on protest today. However, we are opposed to this Labour protest because it will send wrong signals to the investors that will be coming. Because these are existing businesses, and Labour is now in court protesting, on this. Then it means return on investment is not guaranteed. And then these are issues not with a government establishment.
But how do we then address the companies that are already in the country, in the telecom industry, don't seem to be giving Nigerians the quality for their monies? And that's a concern. So how do we now put this side by side with, we don't want to stop others from coming in when we've not been able to properly regulate and provide a good working environment for the ones that are currently in the country?
Well, for us, subscribers are saying, yes, they would need to deliver good quality service. But in doing that, they should not charge exploitative rates. You get what I'm saying? So for us, they say that they need 500% increase. But that is exploitative. So we're saying they should be reasonable, and the 50% is rather much that is granted. So 10% plus exploring other options to raise funds so that they will give us good quality service. We want to buy into their business. Let them do IPOs, like I've said earlier. Let them also ensure that they go to stock exchange so that we can buy shares. So some of them are in the market already. But then we could do more.
All right.
So that's what we're saying.
All right, Mr. Adeolu, thank you very much for your time with us. We have to wrap it up here.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, have a great day. Well, you heard from my guest there, the National President, Association of Telecommunication Subscribers. Blessed Ola says NLC doesn't exist in Nigeria because there's no truthful person amongst them. NLC leaders don't go drink hot tea. Nothing anybody could tell me. Clever Sonny sending that message on Facebook. I'll see if I can take one more call. Charles in Bonny, can you hear us? Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Charles, thank you for staying on for quite a long while. I'm I'm sure you heard what my guest had to say about the situation, especially with the poor network service that we're getting at the moment. What's your take?
I think the government and the telecoms are doing favor to Nigerians. What Trump did in America, stamp stop or whatever, is purely for Americans to enjoy.
Mm.
My boss was telling me that in UK, text message is free. Telecoms are using text message, database to lure customers into their services. But here, you make call, you can't even hear what people are saying. The next thing, your credit is gone. Now it's government that approving. The government already have approved the 50%. So whatever Labour is doing is in fact they are playing to the government system to end up as the petrol subsidy. They all know the plan because they know the country citizens we don't even know. Right now we celebrate the politicians. Somebody will wake up now and say, no, just give them time. Believe me, at the end of the day, the 50%, even if they don't approve it officially, will be paying for it officially.
All right, Charles, thank you. That's the much we can take. Unfortunately, Zion, we don't have time to hear your contribution. We have just a few seconds and we have to go for a commercial. I know you've been patient on the line. I wish there was something I could do about it, but then nothing really is out of my hand. Well, I'm sure we've all heard it. You can go back on Facebook, follow the conversation and drop your contributions. For now, we wrap things up. Hello Port Harcourt comes in shortly with Jude already in the studio. Good morning.